ईश्वरं सुन्दररूपं कनकाम्बरधरं करुणामूर्तिं सर्वजनप्रिय प्रेमस्वरूपं पुटपर्तीश्वर सत्यनारायणं
ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवे च जिराय च नमः शीघ्राय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय च परजाय च नमो मध्यमाय च बगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्धियाय च नमः सोभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय च अवसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेनाय च आशुरथाय च नमः शूराय च वभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिने च वरोधिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय च हनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो धूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषुधिमते च नमः तीक्ष्णे शवे चायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः गोप्याय च वट्याय च नमो सहस्रयोजने वदन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवा शितिगण्ठा शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवा शितिगण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासः कपर्दिनः ये अन्नेषु विविद्यन्ति पात्रेषु विमतो जनान् ये पथां पथिरक्षयाैलभृदाय व्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति श्रुकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वदन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्या येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषावन्नं वातो वर्षमिषवस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु तेऽयं दुष्मोयश्च नो द्वेष्टिदं भोजम्भे ददामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सु य ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्र अस्तु ये ते सहस्रमयुधं पाशा मृत्यो मर्त्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वान् वयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो मा विशान्तकः तेनान्येनाप्यायस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि तमुष्टु इह स्विषु सुधन्वायो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशौ मनसाय रुद्रं नमो भिर्देवमसुरं दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजो यगुं शिवाभिमर्शनः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः शञ्च मे मयश्च मे प्रियञ्च मे नु कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रं च मे श्रेयश्च मे वश्यश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रविणं च मे यन्ता च मे धर्ता च मे क्षेमश्च मे धृतिश्च मे विश्वं च मे महश्च मे मे सीरं च मे लयश्च मरुतं च मे मृतं च मे यक्ष्मं च मे नामयच्च मे जीवातुश्च मे दीर्घायुत्वं च मे न मित्रं च मे भयं च मे सुगं च मे शयनं च मे सुषा च मे सुदिनं च मे स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश पाहि मां श्री गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश पाहि मां श्री गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां लंबोदर गौरी सुत जय गणेश पाहि मां गौरी सुत जय गणेश पाहि मां मंगलकर संकट गोविन्द राधे गोपाला
With love and gratitude, I invoke the presence and blessings of my guide, guardian and God, our dear Swami. Honorable Speaker, esteemed dignitaries, elders, sisters and brothers, a very good evening and Sai Ram to one and all. It is said God is poor at business. Let's look at Lord Krishna. Sudama offered him a handful of poha, and in return he gave mansions of gold, so much so not just to sustain him but multiple generations to come. Panchali offered him a small piece of her sari, and in return he blessed her with textile mills of sari. Indeed, God is poor at business. But this is what a rational mind would conclude. When we look at the same with a pure heart, we will realize that God does not deal in the currency of materialistic things. He deals in the currency of pure, selfless love. He does not see the poha that Sudama has offered him. In fact, he saw the selfless love with which Sudama offered that love, the poha. He did not see the size of the piece of sari that Draupadi offered him. Rather, he saw the selfless love with which Draupadi had offered that piece of sari. And in return, he offered abundant selfless love. This is the currency of love that God deals in. He does not see what's your caste, color, creed. He doesn't even see what species you are. You could be a dog like Jack or Jill. You could be a horse like Raja, or you could be an elephant like Sai Geetha. All you have to do is offer pure, selfless love, and the Lord will return the same in abundance. To tell us more on this beautiful love story between Swami's pet Sai Geetha and the Lord of the universe, we have with us this evening Brother Bishu Prusty. Brother Bishu completed his studies from the Sri Sathya Sai Educational Institutions, post which he's been offering selfless love and service to the Lord in the form of the work that he does at the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center, also commonly known as Radio Sai. So want to know more about this love story? The Lord and His divine pet. Sisters and brothers, put your hands together and join me in welcoming onto the stage with Bishu Prusty.
Sai Geetha Prema Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam Sai Geetha Bhakti Sudha
madhuram madhuram anandam. Sai Geetha Yoga Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam. Sai Geetha Jnana Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam. Offering myself at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, I welcome you all, respected elders and dear brothers and sisters, to this beautiful Odyssey. We are going to go on a journey of awesome love. A love that will delight us and divinize us. How many of you love Sai Geetha? How many of you know Sai Geetha? Can I see some hands? Okay. Already she was introduced. How many of you love Sai Geetha? Okay, so everyone loves Sai Geetha, just like everyone loves Ganesha. You go from Maharashtra to Nagaland to Thailand to Bali, anywhere you go you will find statues of Ganesha. You will find everyone loves Ganesha because he's so cute, so adorable, so endearing. Come, O bulky stomach, O Ganpati, you are the son of Shiva Parvati. Riding a rat too, belting a serpent too. You have the face of an elephant too. We offer you Modaka Payasa. You are the steno of Vedavyasa. Come, help us in our exams, oh Ganesha. So that is how Ganesha is so endearing to us, no matter which part of the world you are in. And who is Ganesha? Ganesha is the
when Shiva and Parvati came in one form as Shiva Shakti, as Sri Sathya Sai, they wanted a daughter, and that daughter was Sai Geetha. Mother Parvati, from the turmeric of her arm, she created Ganesha, and Sathya Sai, as Shiva Shakti,
created Sai Geetha through the honey of his love. And I am not making this up. This is exactly what Swami said in the discourse to students in the Institute Auditorium in June 2007. Swami said, there is an intimate relationship between me and Sai Geetha. It's a pure inner relationship. It is a relationship of supreme Vatsalyam. It is the relationship between the mother and the child. It is the, when we want to ever talk about the purest form of love, we always talk in terms of units of mother's love, right? Because in the physical world, mother's love is the supreme. Even when you want to describe God's love, we say 1,000 times mother's love, million times mother's love. And here she was having the God himself as her mother. And Swami narrates way back in 1962 when Swami had come to the Mudumalai forest, and so someone mentioned to Swami that there is this elephant which had lost her parents, so they were elephant hunters who had captured the parents of Sai Geetha. And the moment Swami saw her, Swami welcomed her, Swami embraced her, and Swami christened her, and Swami narrates how Swami dipped his fingers in honey, and Swami placed his fingers in Sai Geetha's mouth, and Swami says she started sipping the honey from my fingers, and instantly I became her mother. So that is the honeyed love story of Swami and Sai Geetha. And Swami says, she was mine, she was like my daughter, she wanted to go everywhere, wherever I went, so she had full freedom, so she could come to Swami's living room, she could come to Swami's interview room. Swami said she would even want to come to my bathroom, wherever I went she wanted to be there. And that time she was very small, she was about 2 feet, 2.5 feet. Swami used to say how she would sometimes even take him in his car, so anywhere Swami went, she was part of Bhagwan's life. This was way back in the 60s. And Swami narrates how in the early mornings, you know what was her routine? See, when you look at anybody, how do you know they are the son or daughter of a couple? Somebody will have the nose of the father, or the dimple of the mother, or the eyebrows of the grandfather. So then you know, there is some resemblance between the child and the parents. And Sai Geetha too, as the divine child, you know what was her uniqueness about the divine child that Sai Geetha was? She was a totality of nobility from day one. Her routine. So every morning, Sai Geetha, she would be up before the sun rises, and she would be the one who would do circumambulation around the Prashanti Mandir. In those days, devotees had the chance to do Pradakshina around the Prashanti Mandir. So she was the leader of the group. So every morning, she would lead all the devotees 9 times. They would do the circumambulation of the Prashanti Mandir. Bhagwan used to stay in the Mandir in those days. And in those days, there was a big circle where you have currently Sai Kurvanthal. In the whole area was divided into ladies and gents. There was a big circle, and at the head of the circle there was a beautiful marble statue of Ganesha. So this cute brown Ganesha that Sai Geetha was, she would go and she would offer salutations to that marble Ganesha, and all the devotees would do that. And after she has done her pranam, she would come, she would wait for Bhagwan to emerge. So in those days, even as the light of their lives, the sun of their lives, Bhagwan emerged, the sun would emerge, because Swami would come out at 5:30 in the morning. So as Bhagwan came in, Sai Geetha would be waiting there next to the interview room, and the moment he came, cutely she would hop the first thing we should do as Balvika students, as Sai students, Swami has told so many times, the first thing you should do as you wake up is to offer salutations, offer pranams to your mother and father. And this is how Sai Geetha began her day. So she would first go and offer salutations to Swami, and Swami would pet her, Swami would start talking to her, Swami would fondle her, and then Swami would send her to Chitravati. So she would go to Chitravati, and there was at that time her playmate, a young fellow who was her playmate, come warden, come caretaker, come sweet torturer also, because these two, they would go to the Chitravati and she would play on the sands, and she would delight and douse in the waters of Chitravati, and sometimes they would go on a sport, so they would have a ball, so they would be playing, and so the guy will throw and Sai Geetha will run and get the ball, and sometimes he would be naughty and she would take the ball and run away, and that young warden, he will be following. So there were all these beautiful sweet moments which devotees enjoyed in those days. So Sai Geetha playing in the sands, but this little warden also was naughty. Sometimes he would hurt Sai Geetha. So there was one occasion when he harmed Sai Geetha, and on that day, or whenever such things happened, you know what Sai Geetha did? The moment she was hurt by anyone, she would run and straight she would come
to Mandir. Wherever Swami was in the first floor, in the ground floor, in the interview room, where Bhajan hall, wherever Swami was, she would go and she would stand and she would tell in her own way that, this somebody hurt me, Swami, this fellow is hurt. And behind Sai Geetha, this little fellow, this warden also would run and he would want to present his story, Swami, she was wrong and I was right and all that. And then Swami, even before that guy could open his mouth, then Swami would always invariably support his darling daughter. Always Sai Geetha won, and Swami would no, you better be careful, you can't harm her. And so always it was Sai Geetha who won. Always she was the darling of Swami. And look at Sai Geetha. See, she had enough strength in her. Even at that time she was 150 kgs or more, and that fellow was probably 40-50 kgs. Even at that time she had enough energy to lift that fellow and smash him into ground, but she won't do that. She would run and come to mother and complain. She would not harm anyone. When I have my mother for anything, I will go to my mother. She will take me out of every strife, every sorrow. When I have my mother like no other, when I have a mother who pales in comparison, all the other mothers in the world will pale in comparison to the mother that I have. When I have a mother who is like no other, why do I have to go and do anything on my own? My mother is my life. She will take me out of every strife. That was Sai Geetha. That is how Sai Geetha's day would begin. And after they would finish the morning routine, every devotee would be waiting for the evening, rather the afternoon darshan. Because in the afternoon, when Bhagawan emerged, everyone would be waiting for that sight, for the gods. Sai Geetha would be so expectantly waiting for Bhagwan to emerge. So her lotus leaf sized ears would be flapping, she would be very jumpy, she would be constantly twisting and turtling her trunk, waiting, when will Swami come out, when will Swami come out, when will Swami come out, constantly looking at the interview room, has he come out, has he come out? And the moment Swami came out, she will jump and she will be at Bhagwan's feet, and she would fold her legs, her both the legs behind the hind legs and then forelegs, she would almost become half the size. And every afternoon she would have this beautiful ceremony that she would do with her nimble trunk. She would pick up a garland and she would slowly, very, very delicately, she would place it, slide it down Bhagwan's opulent hair onto his shoulders, and Swami would be so thrilled. Swami would flash a beautiful, enchanting smile, and then would start that affectionate patting and the talk between Swami and Sai Geetha, and then Swami would start fondling her, and Swami would start petting her, and it was a sight for all the devotees. People every afternoon in those days waited as much to see this love story unfold as much they waited for Bhagawan to come out of the interview room. And Swami also at that time would feed Sai Geetha. So there would be, see, everything that comes to the home in a house, it goes to the child, right? Mother and father, first thing they think is it has to go to the child, right? No mother or father want to eat what comes to the home. First they would think, I'll keep it for my son, I'll keep it for my daughter. So all the prasadam that went to Swami, it went to Mandir, everything came to Sai Geetha. So there would be buckets of tirtham, there could be buckets of fruits, everything that was offered at Ganesha, everything that was offered in Bhajan hall, everything would be there for Sai Geetha. So Swami would feed her with fruits. And in those days, sometimes Swami would not allow anyone to generally feed Sai Geetha. Every mother is very careful about, who is feeding my daughter what, who is feeding my child what. So Swami would only allow some little children to offer bananas. So nobody would generally be allowed to offer things to Sai Geetha. And Swami himself then would feed Sai Geetha her main meal. Like every mother would want the main meal of the child I should give, because that is what gives nutrition. Child should eat that well. So here was Swami every day feeding chakra pongal and rice to Sai Geetha, and she would not accept Bhagwan feeding her in the trunk. She would always want that Swami should feed her in her mouth. So always we would see that Swami would feed Sai Geetha in the mouth, that rice and chakra pongal. And in fact, I remember in many years later, in 2006, Vijayadashami day, after the Gokulam cows had come and the cows dispersed, and then, Sai Geetha came to Bhagwan, and as Sai Geetha was there in Bhagwan's presence, Swami was on the wheel sofa, and so Swami was offering some fruits, and I was sitting there on the aisle on the side, and I saw that Sai Geetha was not accepting that, and I was wondering, how is it that she's not accepting when Swami himself is giving something? Why is Sai Geetha not accepting? How can he be so impolite? And I was on my own feeling so unnerved about it. But Swami looked at the boys who were next to him, and Swami said, no, she won't take it. She won't take like this. And then Swami got up, and Swami personally stood up and then offered that fruit in person in the mouth. Then she accepted. And once she accepted, then her ears started fluttering, and the full flow of emotions, then tears would flow, and many times she would urinate. She would be full. Swami's robe was filled with saliva, and the boys were trying to clear Swami's robe with Swami's feet, which was wet with saliva. So I said, no, leave it. Swami was all the time okay with her saliva, okay with whatever emerged from her tears, everything. Swami would say, no, don't clean. That's fine. For a mother, that is perfect. The mother feels happy to be there for the child. And that is how this supreme vatsalya of Sai Geetha and Swami continued. In fact, where she used to live? She would live just next to Swami's room. So when Bhagwan was staying in the mandir, all of us know Swami stayed in the mandir till 1993. So right from the 60s when Sai Geetha came, she would be living just next door to Swami. So Swami from his window could see Sai Geetha. Swami could keep an eye on Sai Geetha. And if Sai Geetha needed anything, all she had to do was just look up and just silently or just in a very low volume, she just had to say or just small trumpet, and Swami would run and come down his room from the first floor and look after Sai Geetha. And with time, when the crowds increased and she had to be moved, because that is the ladies area now where Sai Geetha shed initially was in the 60s. So her next location was where currently the Rama, Lakshmana, Sita statues are. So the engineer who had built that shed for Sai Geetha had kept the orientation of the shed facing east. So Sai Geetha was there for 2-3 days. Mandir is to the south. And some people noticed that after 2-3 days, one evening, suddenly there was this commotion, dum 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 dish. That whole thing came down actually. She brought down that entire structure, tin and cement structure, she just brought it down with her strength. And the engineer went and told Swami, Sai Geetha broke the shed, Swami. And Swami said, it is not Sai Geetha's mistake, your mistake. What is the orientation? The orientation to the east. How can Sai Geetha see me? It has to be to the south. If she cannot see me, she cannot live. It is your mistake. Build a mandir, build a house for her which faces south. She cannot live without seeing me. That is how Sai Geetha. No, nothing can come in between me and God. If anything comes between me and God, I'll break it. I will destroy it to smithereens. I don't want anything. If it is an obstacle between me and my Swami. That was Sai Geetha. And like a beautiful mother, Swami would be so concerned about how Sai Geetha is dressed. So every ornament that you see that Sai Geetha wears, everything has been arranged, everything has been brought, everything has been selected by Swami. Be it the golden hood, be it the shining bracelets, be it the gorgeous garlands, be it the dangling earrings, be it the silvery anklets, be it the beautiful body carpet, everything. There were 27 ornaments of Sai Geetha, and everything had been personally picked and brought by Bhagwan, and Swami would constantly keep seeing what to add. So there were occasions during 80th birthday, when so many things were happening, Swami calls Mr. Pedda Reddy, who was the caretaker of Sai Geetha for nearly 30 years. So Swami calls Pedda Reddy, and Swami said, no, show me all the ornaments. So all the ornaments were displayed, and so, is everything ready? Are you okay? Yes, Swami. But Swami said, no, look at that. There were some bells missing in her anklets. Some tiny bells missing in her anklets. Like a mother would know what my daughter is going to wear, how will she look the prettiest. My daughter should always look the most presentable. So Swami said, you have missed. And then he remembered, oh yes Swami, those those bells we had sent it to Bangalore for repair. Get it? 80th birthday. She should be dressed. She should be the most beautiful. And Sai Geetha, she always, the moment turmeric was applied to her feet, that day, that morning, she would be fully excited, because she knows that today I am going to be decorated. Today she'll become a statue. Decorate me, no problem. So Pedda Reddy can go on, putting all the vibhuti marks and slowly dye her anklets and put her necklaces and put her garlands and put her golden hood and put her body carpet, and she would be like a statue. Decorate me. I'm going to my mother. I'm going to my Swami today. And she'd be waiting, why? Not because she loved to be beautiful, but because she knew, today I will get to spend more time with my Swami. Today I will be leading the procession of my Swami. And if you have seen, when she's standing in the mandir, or when she knew that I should never do anything that will bring down the dignity. Leading the processions, never it has happened that she didn't put her foot or not. I remember many years ago, once when the caretaker of the ashram went all the way there, you didn't go and see Sai Geetha. And then Swami asked, are you giving sugarcane leaves? And when that person kept quiet, Swami said, when you know that she loves sugarcane leaves and she cannot speak, if we cannot provide that, then what is service? We know a being cannot speak and we know what they want. If we cannot do that, then what is service? When the Brindavan stores was inaugurated, Bhagwan, as he cut the ribbon and went into the stores, and everyone pleaded with Swami, Swami, you should... Banana. Okay, not bad. Banana. Any other guesses? So Swami bought an oil for Sai Geetha. So which means constantly Swami's mind is only on Sai Geetha. When new store is opening, so many things are happening. I want to buy that for my daughter. The first thing is for my child. So how is it that Swami's mind was always on Sai Geetha? It is because Sai Geetha's mind was always on Swami. If God is priority one in your life, not just priority one, if God is the only priority in your life, you are the only priority for God. You are always the only priority for God, but you will always experience that every second of your life. If you make God the center of your life, God will ensure to show you that you are the center in His scheme of things. Where are our priorities? We have to ask this question. Let's learn from this 5-footed pachyderm. So, Swami constantly thought of her because she thought about Swami. How do we know she was all the time thinking about Swami? We can't read her mind. So there was this occasion when Swami was going, so he started from the mandir, and when Bhagwan came near the hostel, somehow that was one invisible, fantastic, elephantine network that was there between Sai Geetha and Swami. She always knew that if Swami had started, so the moment Swami started from the mandir, she knew, and she was right at the road. And when Bhagwan came, she came onto the road, and with her trunk, she banged the bonnet of Swami's car with her trunk, and she said, Swami, you are not going, Swami. So she didn't allow Swami to go. And slowly then all the boys started crowding and all that, and Swami was inside, and Swami was saying, Sai Geetha, I have to go. She didn't move an inch. Then finally Swami had to come out of the car, and then Swami had to pacify her, but then still she was not moving even an inch. Then finally Swami said, okay, I'm going back. I'll go back to mandir. If I go back to mandir, will you go back to your shed? Only then she removed her trunk from the car, and then Swami looked at all the boys, and Swami said, she came to me when she was so small, but from that age, only one thing she has done. She has only expanded her love. She has expanded her love for me so much that today, at every second, she feels me. She knows every movement of mine. What I think, she knows. What I feel, she feels. Swami said, that is devotion. Where there is no my will, there is no your will, there is only one omni will. Because you, as they say, Brahma with Brahmeva Bhavati, you constantly thinking about Swami, constantly having the focus only on Swami, your focus is so one-pointed that you have become one with the object of your focus. And there were so many testimonies of how one-pointed her focus was. So when Bhagwan used to leave Prashanti Nilayam, so in those days, so Swami, so Sai Geetha would come and be with the students. She would play, she would come for a walk, and she would spend some time with the students. One thing very unique about her was, she did not want anyone in her life unless they had one special trait. So there was one caretaker who was appointed so that Pedareddy sir also will have some rest and someone to help, because sir was also handling so many other responsibilities. But Sai Geetha never allowed this person to come near her. They tried so many ways, but she just didn't allow this person to come near her. So they didn't know what to do. But after 2-3 days, when this person was in the mandir, and when Swami blessed this person in the mandir by creating vibhuti, after that, when he came to the shed, then Sai Geetha allowed to become her caretaker. If you pulsates with God's love, then there is place for you in my heart. If God is everything for you, then I might have something to do with you. Otherwise, I have nothing to do with you. If you are touched by God, then you probably, maybe, have the opportunity of touching me. If you are not touched by God, you cannot be near me. But the only exception that Sai Geetha had was Swami's student, because she always felt that Swami's students are blessed They are Swami's own children, just like she was. And so when Swami used to go to Brindavan, Swami used to come here, and those are the times when she would spend little time in the ground. The boys would be playing, and so she would go many times, and as the boys are playing, she would also join the game. She would take the ball, and there were instances when she would take the ball and she would basket. As the boys were playing the basketball game, there were times when she would join the football game and she would give a fantastic kick. There was one occasion when, there was a tug of war. So there were 25 students and there was Sai Geetha. And in the tug of war, everything was set. So 1, 2, 3, 25 students, Sai Geetha. And when said go, Sai Geetha just started walking as if she was taking a stroll in the park. Everyone was just languishing behind. She was a tremendous, she was already some 4 or 5 tons of energy. She just walked away like that. How she used to eat coconut. She would take the whole coconut, break the coconut inside her mouth, eat the kernel and throw the husk and the crust outside. That's how she would eat coconut. So, one occasion when Swami was in Brindavan and Sai Geetha was in the ground, so she was there at the primary school end, and suddenly Swami came from the other end, from the higher secondary school end, and the moment Swami's car entered the Hillview Stadium, Sai Geetha started running from the primary school end, and she was, when she runs, she forgets she's an elephant. She thinks she's a deer, she's a horse, and she was galloping because Swami is coming, and she's running from this side, and Swami's car started coming, and Swami stopped. Swami got on the car. Swami also could not contain to see Sai Geetha. Swami started running, and both of them are running. They reach a point, and both are out, and both are like embracing each other, and it's almost like Sai Geetha has hit Swami, in her trunk and her hind legs, and she almost wants to take Swami and run off. That was the love between Swami and this acme of devotion. Swami looked at the students, and Swami said, "You know why I have kept Sai Geetha in front of your hostel? If you cultivate even an iota of devotion that Sai Geetha has for me, your life will be sanctified." And there was this famous occasion when Bhagwan was again with the students, and it was on the road, and whenever Sai Geetha was with Swami, she would be, everything in her should just pour. All her emotions that dam within will break, and she would be tearing, and as I said, there will be occasions when she would start urinating. So there was this one occasion when she started urinating, and because it was on a hard surface, so it was splashing. So all the boys who were there, they just stepped back to be protected from that urine. Swami was standing there. Swami's robe was wet. Swami's robe was wet with that urine and saliva and the tears and everything. And Swami looked at all the boys, and Swami said, "Maybe if you drink a cup of her urine, maybe you will get a fraction of her devotion. If you drink a cup of her urine, maybe you will get a fraction of her devotion." And there was this occasion in Brindavan when Swami was about to go to Jayanagar for the Akhanda Bhajan, and she knew that Swami is going out, and she started trumpeting twice, thrice. She trumpeted, "Swami, you can't go, you have to come, you have come out, you have to come spend time with me." So Swami went to Sai Geetha, and so she constantly, she was always, she wanted to hide Swami and just keep Swami to herself, and Swami with lot of difficulty extricated himself from her sweet clutch, and as Swami was leaving, again she caught her trunk, caught hold of Swami, and Swami was not able to go only, and Swami had got ready, and she had again wet Swami's robe, and Swami said, "Leave Swami, leave Geetha, I have to go, Geetha." Then Swami looked at all the devotees, and Swami said, "If you have this kind of one-pointed love for me, if you have even a little of this kind of one-pointed love for me, then darshanam, sambhashanam, sparshanam, everything will come to you automatically. Everything will come to you automatically. And the greatest testimony of her one-pointed love for Bhagwan was something that happened in the 80s. Again, this was one occasion which was inexplicable to so many. Many of the elders in the ashram, they told Swami, Sai Geetha has come of age. This is the time she should be breeding, she should have a family, we should send her back to the forest, she cannot be here. Swami, it's not okay, we have to send her back to the jungle. Swami was not okay, but the elders kept persisting, and Swami said okay, and all these arrangements were made to send Sai Geetha to the Mudumalai forest. So with 2 caretakers, she was sent to the forest. And she was there in the forest, and they say when she was in the forest, she would never allow any male elephant to come near her. Not allow any male elephant to come near her. So all these caretakers, they would try to keep some elephant calves around her so that at least she gets that feeling of starting a family. But as long as these mahouts are watching, she would allow the kids to be around. The moment they are gone, she would shoo them away sweetly. She just wanted to be alone. Just wanted to be alone. And Pedareddy says, every time it was almost like she was always saying something. And Pedareddy sir says, there are always a namasmarana going on. Constantly she was thinking of something. Constantly she was chanting Swami's name. And when our love is sincere, it is not we who are missing Swami. It is Swami who misses us the more. Because for Swami to find that pure love is so rare that if there is any pure love anywhere, Swami misses the person. And so Swami himself drove and Swami came to the forest. So one of those evenings when she was there and there was a big canal, so Swami's car came to the forest. In those days, nobody had any clue about Swami's movements. So Sai Geetha was there on the other side of the canal, and the moment she saw Swami, she started jumping through the rubble and stones and bushes, and she jumped into the water. She swam through the water, and she jumped onto the canal, and she went to Swami. Swami came out of the car, and that's it. The moment Swami came out, she started crying, Swami, take me, tell me, why did you send me here? Swami, take me. She kept crying. Swami, take me, why did you send me here? And Swami pacified her so much, but still she was just crying and crying. Swami's robe was wet with her tears. And with a lot of difficulty, Swami was feeding her, eat. She just put some fruits in her mouth. But the moment Swami left, she spat everything out. And she had become a sea of tears. And after 2-3 months, Swami gave instructions, bring her back. You know why? Because after that day, every night she would break the chains and she would run off to Parthi, in the direction of Parthi. So every morning they will find she is some 6 kilometers away, 10 kilometers away, there is blood on her feet. She would have broken the chains and she would have walked off. They told Swami, we can't control her, she's just going off. Whatever, you can't bind an elephant. If she agrees to be in the chains, then you can keep her in the chains. If you want to break, she can break anything. And she would just come off. Then Swami said, bring her back. And when she came back, there's all this drama happened. So somebody said, no, Sai Geetha is pregnant. Swami, Sai Geetha is pregnant. Oh, Sai Geetha is pregnant. Okay, then we should do arrangements for Sai Geetha. Oh, so there was a separate enclosure made, and there was this news that Sai Geetha is pregnant, and baby Sai Geetha is going to come, and all this halabaloo was happening. Oh, call the doctors, all that. Swami said, oh, pregnant, Sai Geetha is pregnant. Swami called Professor Kasturi. Kasturi, Sai Geetha is pregnant, it seems. Can you see that baby elephant in Sai Geetha's stomach? And the old man, Kasturi, maybe Swami, I think it is there, Swami. And I said, oh, okay. So then all the doctors came and they said, okay, when is the delivery, and all that was going on. Then one or 2 days before that supposed date of delivery, the doctors told, Swami, there is nothing, Swami. I said, I told you from day one. And then came the revelation. Swami said, Sai Geetha is a Shuddha Brahmacharini. Swami said, she has come only for me. She will have nothing to do with anyone except me in this life. When I have the one, I don't need anyone. When I have the one who is second to none, why do I need anyone? I will have all the wealth, I will have all the pleasure, I will have all the fun with the one. Because for me, he is the only one. My life will be full of fun with the one. I will never, ever be alone. I will never, ever be lonely. Because with me, who is there, he is the most lovely. When I have the most lovely with me, how can I ever be lonely? And if you analyze the journey, what started as supreme vatsalyam, what started as supreme maternal love, it metamorphosed into vibrant bhakti. That vairagya, that supreme vairagya became vibrant bhakti. So many people receive love from God. But how many people know what to make of that love? All of us receive love from God. All of us are Swami's children. When we receive that nectar of His love, can we make our life glitter? How to make our life glitter with the nectar of His love? And for her, as Pedda Reddy says, it was always Bhagawan bina koi apna nahi. Bhagawan bina koi apna nahi. In the Navavidha Bhakti, we have Shravana Mananam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam. Finally, we have Atma Nivedanam. Before Atma Nivedanam, it is Sakhyam. Sakhyam means consider Swami as your beloved, consider Swami as the dearest. And Swami says, what is the most endearing relationship with me? When is it that I love it the most? I love it the most when you tell me, Swami, you are my beloved, you are my darling, you are my best buddy, you are my friend. When you tell me that, that's when I am the happiest. When we have Swami as the eternal friend, anytime we have anything, just caught hold of his hand and our sorrows will come to an end. That Sai Geetha had discovered, delighted, learned and taught. So the journey of supreme Vatsalya becoming vibrant bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti is where there is no vibhakti. Where there is no two, there is only one. That is what is bhakti. When there is no two, no difference. My will, Swami's will, one will, omni will. And Pedda Reddy sir says, when Sai Geetha used to be in the shed, she always was so engrossed in her Namasmarana, she would never want anyone in the shed also talking. So if there were some sevadals there, and if they were talking, she would pick up a twig and throw at them. Hey, keep quiet. Silence, this is an ashram. Every morning she would want the vibhuti to be put, and she would want as much as vibhuti as she can take. So Pedda Reddy sir would put handfuls of vibhuti and she would be very happy. And the journey from Vatsalya to Bhakti continued onto two more stages. The vibe, what started as a Vatsalya became vibrant Bhakti and then moved on to fantastic Vairagya. That is the journey of a devotee. The Bhakti should lead us to Vairagya. We are so attached to Him that we feel we are detached. Nothing in the world can attach us because we are so attached to Him. And it was on April 26th that Swami was going to Kodaikanal. And so that year, though generally Bhagwan would go to Kodaikanal from Brindavan, that year Swami went from Prashanti Nilayam 2007. And like every time, the moment Swami came onto the road and the moment she was there, it was always a celebration to see Bhagwan and Sai Geetha. So that day also as Swami came, Sai Geetha was restless, and the moment she saw Swami, she started trumpeting, and she was so full of joy and so full of happiness. But at the same time there was a tinge of sorrow also. The moment Swami left the car, Swami's car left, and she just started breaking down. She was crying and crying and crying. And see, it had happened many times. It will always take a long time for Peda Reddy to console Sai Geetha after Swami would leave. But on that occasion, she was inconsolable, 2007. And she came back to the shed, but she from that day, she started to not eat at all. Her food intake reduced every single day. By the time the month of May started, she stopped eating altogether. And in spite of Peda Reddy's trying every which way to make her eat, give the favorite sugarcane grass, fresh grass, everything, but she would not eat. And this was going on. And out of the blue, on 18th May 2007, Swami returned from Kodaikanal. It would happen that Swami would return in the month of May from Kodaikanal, and if ever he came back, he would come to Brindavan. And generally, from Brindavan in the month of June, Swami would return to Prashanti. That was how it was for so many decades. But that year, suddenly 18th May, Swami was in Parthi. It was so hot. And as Bhagwan came, and Sai Geetha was on the road, but that day it was very different. For a very unusual reason, neither Sai Geetha nor Swami looked happy. They were looking at each other. Their eyes were fixed on each other, but both of them were crying. Both of them were like, there was Himalaya in their heart. It was that painful. And it was such a subdued, such a poignant, sorrowful moment for everyone. They had never ever seen Swami and Sai Geetha like this. And Swami went back. And on 20th May, when Peda Reddy sir went in the morning to look after, she had broken the chains. So Sai Geetha, every night she would be chained. When Peda Reddy leaves, he would chain her. But he noticed that the previous night she had broken the chains, and she was in the fields. And he had not known, Peda Reddy had no clue why this had happened. And 21st May, again, when he went, though it had not happened in the night, but 21st May, 5 a.m., again she broke her chains. In fact, the previous day, Peda Reddy had done welding for the chains, but 21st May, again she broke the chains, and again she was there on the grass. And he had no clue why she's... It was very symbolic. It was like she just wanted to be set free. It's like she wanted to go. And on 22nd May, morning when Peda Reddy sir was giving her a bath, and she indicated as if there is something bothering her on her foot. And so Peda Reddy sir said, you lift your foot. Let me check what is there. Maybe it's a thorn. Maybe it's a stone. So she tried to lift, but sir didn't find anything. So she kept it down. Then, he told, can you lift it again? I want to see. She lifted it again with a lot of difficulty. But the moment she lifted it, she slipped and she fell. And once she fell, she could not get up. Incidentally, for 1.5 years, Sai Geetha had not sat down. There was some pain in her leg. She would sleep also standing or leaning against the wall, but she had not sat down. So now when she sat, she could not get up. So they tried to bring a crane. There was no crane. She was 6 tons, and there were cranes which could carry 2 tons. And there was no crane in and around in Anantapur. They tried to get a crane from Bangalore, but that crane started, but on the way it developed some puncture, some repair, and the crane could not come. They tried one more company. So the whole day was spent trying to get a crane, and there was no crane that was found who could come. Swami was in Prashant Nilayam. Sometimes it seemed so bizarre that we were trying to help. Sai Geetha were helping Swami's chosen elephant, Swami's beloved boy. Why the universe is not cooperating? The universe is operating at a different dimension. When we think the universe is not cooperating, the universe is operating at a different gear. Maybe Swami wanted to end not this physical misery, but a misery that will liberate her. And so she tried to lift. So she was given some injection. She tried to lift her head, and she tried, but she could not. So by the time it was afternoon, she gave up, and her head fell down. And slowly her breathing also became quieter and quieter. And by the time it was 5:36, her breathing also stopped. And the doctors came and said, she's no more there. And the news was sent to Swami. Swami, Sai Geetha is no more. You know what Swami did? Swami went to the kitchen. Swami got special payasam made for Sai Geetha. And Swami sent through one boy, said, go and feed Sai Geetha. And now that payasam was brought and given to Pedareddy sir. And Pedareddy sir saying, whom do I tell? How do I tell? In all these 40 years of serving Swami, I have never disobeyed Swami. But how do you feed a dead being? How do I feed this payasam? She's not there anymore. Her head had already drooped. If I place this big quantity of payasam, tomorrow it will be out of her mouth because, the gravity, it will just fall down. What do I do? But just following Swami's instructions, he just put that payasam into her mouth, praying to Swami. And the next morning, when he came, to his utter surprise, nothing had fallen. And the greatest of wonders, her body was still supple. Her trunk was still supple. Her limbs were still fresh. In 2 hours, when you die, your body becomes stiff. But her body was still as flexible as before. And Bhagwan came. Swami came 6:37 in the morning. And the moment Swami came out of the car, Pedareddy was there. And Swami came out of the car and Swami's eyes were overflowing. Swami held the hands of Pedareddy and Swami said, I have lost a great devotee. I have lost a great devotee. Never in the history of the Sri Sathya Sai avatar have we ever heard Bhagwan certifying someone and telling he is my great devotee, he is my greatest devotee. Here Swami was saying, I have lost my great devotee. And Swami then went to her body and Swami applied vibhuti to Sai Geetha. I remember that scene so well because it was almost like Swami wanted to envelop her. It was 2007, Swami was on the sofa, but Swami just wanted to embrace her. And Swami opened her eyes and Swami told Sai Geetha, see. Later Swami told, she opened her eyes and she saw me. She saw me and she said, Swami, I am going. I tell, go happily, go peacefully, Sai Geetha. And that's how she breathed her last. It reminds one of Subhama how, even though the doctors medically had said that she had gone, only when Swami came and put that water in her mouth, that's when actually the soul merged. And he really reminds me of Jatayu. Jatayu, who was valiant for her devotion, valiant devotion. On the lap of Rama, she did her last. And here was Swami. And after that, Swami calls Pedaredi. And the previous night, there was a huge pit that was dug. I'll go up to 6 o'clock. So there was a pit that was dug. And it was 16 by 20 feet. And Swami ensured what will go into that pit. So in Swami's direct supervision, what should be placed, because that scene is so vivid in my mind, because Swami said first vibhuti should go, then turmeric should go, then haldi should go, then the fresh grass should go, then sugarcane leaf should go, everything that Sai Geetha loved and wanted, Swami wanted to be placed there. Then Swami called Pedaredi. Swami went to the room, to the Yajur Mandir. You know what? All her Sai Geetha's ornaments were always in Swami's bedroom. So Swami brought out all the ornaments. Swami gave to Pedaredi. Swami said, decorate her the most prettiest manner, how she was in the processions. Go and put everything. Swami gave new clothes to Pedaredi. You also wear new clothes. And then Swami came back, and Swami had now baskets and baskets of garlands. There was a crane. Swami said, you have to ensure that her body is not dragged even a centimeter. You have to very carefully lift her. So that crane had to very, very delicately lift her and place in that pit. And Swami personally supervised all the trustees had to put, the garlands, and then after that what has to be put, vibhuti, everything was put. And Swami was there till 1 o'clock, 1:30, I remember. It was very hot, and everybody started telling Swami, it's so hot, Swami, you can go, Swami. Swami said, no, I'll be there. Again, never before in the saga of the Sri Sathya Sai avatar has it happened that Swami was at the funeral of any person. I can only think of Jatayu, as I said. Never before Swami was not there in the funeral of even Mother Ishwarama or Pada Venkaparaju. But for Sai Geetha's funeral, Swami was there. For the full 7-8 hours, Swami was there, supervising every little detail of her funeral. And on the 11th day, Swami comes back, and Swami does the distribution. Swami takes fruits and bananas, and Swami places it on the samadhi. Swami goes to the Gokulam, and Swami serves the cows on the 11th day. When that samadhi was built, rather 6 months before her passing, that structure was built. And at that time, her old structure had to be demolished because the indoor stadium had to come, and they were looking for different places. Swami finally chose this space, and Swami had told, all the designs, it has to be very beautiful, it has to be ornate designs. And never before Sai Geetha's shed was so beautiful. It was always a shed. But Swami is this time very particular that it should be like a temple. And all the designs were done. And when Pedaredi asked Swami, Swami said, no. This time we have to make a big, beautiful, permanent place for Sai Geetha. And Pedaredi thought maybe from now on she will not be moved. He had no idea what that permanent place meant. And Swami said, and on that occasion, there were times when after the shed was built, also Sai Geetha would never want to go to that space. She just knew what was coming. And Pedaredi sir says, when Swami came to the auditorium in 2007, Swami actually broke down. Before he said, you don't know about the relationship between me and Sai Geetha. Swami said, you know why Sai Geetha left? Because she knew I'm not going to be there. She did not want to live to see that day when I am not there. That's why she left. I very clearly remember that Institute Auditorium session. It was 2007, and we thought, what is it Swami is speaking? Anil Kumar sir also did not translate it. We thought, what is it? Swami, why are you saying this? But Pedaredi sir says that every evening, Sai Geetha, her Vairagya was so beautiful, so exalted, that she had reached the stage of a Jnani. And a Jnani is Sarvantaryami. So Pedaredi sir says every evening, he used to have conversations with Sai Geetha in Telugu. I asked him, you really could hear? He said, yes. I can't tell this to you how, but every evening when I would go, she would tell me so many things. It's very mystifying. There are so many things beyond our logic and reason. But she would tell me so many things. She would tell me about the future of the ashram. She would tell me so many secrets. Pedretti sir asked Swami, why is Swami coming on now on the chair? Will Swami not walk? And Sai Geetha said, Swami has decided to wind down his avatar. And I don't want to be there when Swami is not going to be there. I cannot live to be there when he's not going to be there. And I have to go. It's very interesting that we are talking about Sai Geetha, the elephantine love of Sai Geetha, at a time the world is talking about elephant whisperers winning the Oscar. And here was an elephant who told us not how to attain Oscar, but how to attain Sakshatkar. She told us how to go into that journey of Sanskar, Paropakar and Sakshatkar. Here was a pet. We have pets in our homes, we have cats and dogs, and we give love to them and they give love to us. And what happens? They bind us to the world. If the pet dies, we feel sorrow, we cry, and we are inconsolable. But never before, perhaps in the history of humanity, you had an elephant who, through her life, connected people to God. It did not bind them to the world, but it liberated them and connected them to their source. And she didn't whisper. She was not an elephant whisperer. She didn't whisper. She told it loud and clear. What is the life that you should be leading? Where your priority should be? How pure should be your love? Through her immaculate purity and that soul entrancing sublimity, she told us how you can make your life in such a way that your life will become a beacon of light, a beacon of love, where your story will become a chapter of His glory. That is the life of Sai Geetha. Can we make our lives a chapter of His glory? Just before coming, I met Pedretti sir. I requested him, sir, please come. All people will be so happy to see you. He said, for 50 years, I have never traveled outside the South Indian canteen on one end and the Sai Geetha shed. I told, now you can come. I told, there is nothing for me to see, nothing for me to achieve. Don't you have any feeling that all your life you just spent only serving Sai Geetha? He said, I have no regrets. I am the happiest person in the world. I have experienced so much love, and like a little child, he opens the Satyam Sundaram, because all his life he was only serving in the canteen, serving Sai Geetha, that now he opens Satyam Sundaram and he reads the chapters. And when I go to his room, he said, you know what, Swami used to go, in his childhood, he would go and he would pluck these fruits from that kalpataru, and all children would be so excited. Swami would give them what they want. So like a little child, he would be just relishing that glory of Swami. And I would ask him, what is the biggest thing that you learned, sir? He said, what else to learn? I am the richest person in the world because I learned what is devotion. Swami gave me the chance to serve who was the epitome of love. We have Lord Krishna, who eons ago gave us Bhagavad Gita. But when Bhagwan came as Sri Sathya Sai, Swami encapsulated Bhagavad Gita into one Gita, into Sai Geetha. Swami said, you don't have to read any scriptures, you don't have to read any yoga. No need of Karma Marga, no need of Bhakti Marga, no need of Jnana Marga. Swami told in 2007 that discourse. In the end, Swami said, if you only listen and ruminate on the life of Sai Geetha and cultivate that kind of a devotion, if you only listen and contemplate on her story, on her love for me, I will draw you closer to me. This was Swami's statement. If you only contemplate on the life of Sai Geetha, I will draw you closer to me. You don't have to do anything else. And that's why I say her life was a yoga, a life which moved from Sai Geetha Prema Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam. And it ends with Sai Geetha Bhakti Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam. Sai Geetha Yoga Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam. Sai Geetha Jnana Sudha Madhuram Madhuram Anandam. In fact, I have a little clipping of Pedareddy sir. Because he could not come, I thought maybe you should see this noble soul. His story is as glorious as the Sai Geetha story in many ways, but that is for some other day. But brother, if you can play that 1 minute clip of Pedareddy sir speaking. Yes.
She knows that Swami is going to close his avatar. Therefore she wanted to go before Swami goes.
She told you that.
Exactly, she did the same thing.
She told you that.
She only in Telugu.
What did she say?
When I asked Sai Geetha, what about Swami Mangala Aarathi? I was going to say, what is going to happen? Then she said, Swami is not going to walk anymore. Swami is going to close the altar. If the Swami goes, she knows that Swami is going to close the altar. Therefore she wanted to go before Swami goes.
She told you that.
Exactly, she did the same thing.
She told you that.
She only in Telugu.
What did she?
And there's a very beautiful documentary, a little song that was done on Sai Geetha, and which was shown to Swami. And that was also a very touching occasion, how, there are some names, the moment you utter those names, Swami's eyes would always overflow. It is Sai Geetha, it is Meera, it is Ishwarama, it is Subhama, just to that me. And this is a video that Swami physically had seen. And I would ask all of you, as you see this video, take some image from this video and let it be permanently imprinted in your mind. And whenever you feel that lack of love in your heart, whenever you feel, Swami, I need you, whenever you feel, Swami, I am not feeling well, Swami, I am depressed, Swami, I am lonely, just rekindle this image in your mental landscape, and I promise you, she will fill it with delight, she will fill it with joy, she will fill it with elemental joy, and ensure that your life is full of Swami, and Swami alone. Thank you so much for your love. Sathya Sai Bhagawan Sathya Sai Bhagawan Malavati Sathya Malavati Sathya Sathya Sai Bhagawan
అమ్మా అమ్మా అంటూ ఎలుగెత్తి పిలిచావు, గుండె కరిగి పట్టి సాయి ఒడికి చేర్చుకున్నాడు. కన్న బిడ్డల సాకి తల్లి ప్రేమ పంచాడు. సత్య సాయి భగవానుని ముద్దు బిడ్డలమ్మా, కృతయుగాన హరిగాచిన గజరాజువు నీవు, శ్రీకాళహస్తిలోన శివుని భక్తురాలివో. ఏ పూర్వ పుణ్యమో స్వామి గరికి చేరా, ఏ జన్మ బంధమో స్వామి మనసు దోచా. సత్య సాయి భగవానుని ముద్దు బిడ్డలమ్మా. సత్య సాయి భగవానుని ముద్దు బిడ్డలమ్మా. సత్య సాయి వైభవం కనులార చూసాము, సత్య సాయి వైభవం కనులార చూసాము. ఆ వైభవదీప్తిలో జీవిని చిందించావు, దైవం మదిలో నిలిచిన భక్తురాలివమ్మా. సాయి నామమున్నరకు చిరంజీవివమ్మా, సాయి నామమున్నరకు చిరంజీవివమ్మా. సత్య సాయి భగవానుని ముద్దు బిడ్డలమ్మా, సత్య సాయి భగవానుని ముద్దు బిడ్డలమ్మా.
Is there a greater love story than that of a mother and child? We are very thankful to you, Brother Prusty, for sharing the last 1 hour 15 minutes this beautiful love story between the Lord and her divine child, Sai Geetha. A lot of things that we can learn from the life of Sai Geetha. See, it's very simple relationship that one needs to have with God. All you have to do is just be unconditional. There are no rules, right? The only rule is be loving, loving and loving. And that's exactly what Sai Geetha did. And she played that role so well. This evening, thank you very much, Brother Prusty, for sharing your thoughts with us. As a mark of our token of love, I request Mr. Harish to offer our token of love to the speaker. I now request Mr. Raghavendra to honor our speaker with a token of Thank you so much. This evening program began on a beautiful note with Vedam Chanting and Bhajans by our students here. Thank you so much. The people sitting at the farthermost of this hall and hundreds of more who are watching this session online on YouTube live, they were able to enjoy this session as much as us, thanks to the audio-visual team, both the audio and the visual team. Also, for making this beautiful arrangement in this hall, the flower decoration on Swami's dais, would like to thank the Brindavan Management Committee, the Sri Sathya Sai Trust Karnataka, the Sevadal and staff and volunteers of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations Karnataka South, and the Sri Sathya Sai Hostel Brindavan campus. In the next couple of days, or I guess furthermore in this month, there are lots and lots of opportunities for us to come here and spend time with Swami. So because of this, I have a very long list of important announcements to make. The 22nd of this month, Wednesday 22nd March, commemorates the auspicious day of Ugadi. The Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations Karnataka South welcomes one and all to the Sai Ramesh Hall to participate in the Ugadi celebrations, which starts at 5 a.m. in the morning with Omkaram, Suprabhatam and Naga Sankirtan. At 9 a.m. there is a special Ugadi Bhajan, following which at 10 o'clock we have Mangala Aarathi and Prasadam. The evening program begins with Vedam Chanting at 4:30 p.m. At 5 p.m. we have a Bhajans Sandhya by Ram Lakshman Brothers, followed by Bhagwan's Divine Discourse, and it closes with Mangala Aarathi and Prasadam at 6:30 p.m. Everyone is requested to be here and participate wholeheartedly with friends and family. Later the same week, on the 24th of March, marks the beginning of the Ramayana Saptaha here in the Sai Ramesh Hall, which will go on till the 30th of March. Briefly, I'll just go through the content details. So on the 24th and the 25th of March, we have Dr. G.S. Sri Rangarajan, who will be speaking on the topics of inner significance of characters and situations in Ramayana. And on the 25th, he will be speaking on Sri Rama, an ideal character. On the 26th of March, we have Sri Sundar Anantaraman, who will be speaking on the sanctity of Sita Rama Kalyanam. Following which, on 27th and the 28th of March, we have Dr. Amay Deshpande, and he will be speaking to us on Lakshmana's bhakti and prapti to his Lord Sri Rama. And the next day he will be speaking on high values portrayed by lesser known characters in the Ramayana. Post which, on the 29th and the 30th of March, we have Dr. Sai Giridhar Sairam, who will be speaking on conversations between Sita and Rama on the aspects of dharma. And the next day, the 30th of March, he will speak on Hanuman, an ideal role model for the youth of Bharat. So this is what we have in the month of March, and next month, the third week of April, which happens to be 16th of April, we will have the next edition of the Samarpan program. So with this, just a couple of announcements that post Aarti, we request all the students and devotees to participate in the Pradakshina of Trai Brindavan. First we will have the students from Brindavan campus, followed by the nursing students, followed by the lady devotees, and then the gents devotees. Post which we request everyone to partake Swami's Prasadam and then leave. Now without further ado, I call upon Brother Bishu Prusty to offer Aarti to Swami. Sairam.
Swami Sathya Sai Hare
Just like Swami says, love and uncertainty, there's been a small change in the schedule of the Ramayana Saptaha. The Saptaha will begin on the 30th of March and culminate on the 6th of April. Thank you.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ता न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका